I'm meeting with Maureen Nicholson, who works for Triangle, whose motto is People with Abilities. This particular place is located in Randolph, and Maureen is part of the School to Career piece of Triangle. Could you explain to me what the School to Career piece is?
Sure. Triangle works with all people with disabilities, but the School to Career program specifically works with students between the ages, primarily high school students, between the ages of 16 to 24. Typically, students with disabilities, in the special needs program would age out of a high school at 22, but we take students up to the age of 24.
Okay.
So when they leave high school, depending on which adult agency they would work with, they can still come back to Triangle. And the School to Career program basically is what it says. We are taking school-age students with disabilities, and our goal is to help them find a career. We're a vocational program, and we're about finding jobs and everything that it involves.
Very good. So the mission of this component of Triangle is just that, to place people with abilities who have disabilities,
Yes.
okay, in work programs. Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Does Triangle play a significant role in job placement services?
Absolutely, yeah. Do you mean Triangle, the whole company, or School to Career?
School to Career in particular, but yeah, Triangle though.
And the answer is absolutely to both. I mean, that's primarily what we do. We job develop. Let me take it into a small chunk as far as School to Career, because it's just easier to talk about.
Sure.
They're all, everyone starts at a different level, so it really, we might start out at an internship.
Okay.
And that's a lot of the students that start in the program start out in an internship, which is a volunteer job. We try to place students specifically in something they're interested in. So if a student really loves cars and automobiles, then we try to find them an internship in that, industry. From there, a lot of the internships actually turn into paid jobs.
Yep.
I have a couple students that's happened to this year, which is great. And, some students might be in an internship for 3 months, a year. It really just depends. But so we develop them at, they're all developed at different levels and different rates. So we, start out as volunteer jobs, but the goal is to have that turn into a paid job.
Okay.
So however it evolves for that particular student.
Excellent. I think the next question maybe is the most important question, and that is, what role do you see you playing the School to Career program in terms of transitional goals and objectives that are in a student's IEP prior to you actually getting them in your program? Have you provided any professional development in terms of trying to help write these transition goals? Are kids picked based on ability, need, IQ?
Well, they're not picked. So say we have a contract with Randolph High School.
Right.
So they decide which students they want to send. We work very closely with the schools. We do write their TPF forms.
Oh, good.
So their transition planning forms. So we collaborate with the school. We go over the IEP before the student starts. We talk about what goals that student needs to meet, and then that's kind of that's our basis for where we go with it.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yep, and we're huge in transition. I mean, obviously we're a vocational program, and our focus is jobs. However, there's more to life than there's more pieces to it.
Right.
If you can't socially navigate,
Right.
out in the world, then you'll have a hard time, maintaining a job,
Right.
sustaining a job. So we try to cover all aspects for them to live independent lives.
Okay. Good. So it's you find out where they are in terms of their ability, in terms of social skills, independent living skills, as well as career skills, and you do whatever you can to help them.
And try to combine it all to, because it's not just one little piece.
Sure. Now, I know that you partner with Randolph High, and I've heard wonderful things about it. What other services do you provide for Randolph High School, if any?
Well, specifically for Randolph High School, and this is only for Randolph, we do provide transportation, pickup and drop off.
Okay.
But that's just a minor thing. Triangle also as a whole has different components to it. So we have a program called Impactability,
Okay.
which is abuse prevention training.
Yes.
So we have access to impact instructors.
Okay.
And it's teaching how to self-advocate, how to protect yourself, how to stand up for yourself.
Okay.
We also have another program under Triangle called EPIC, and that's a leadership program, and it's encouraging and teaching students how to be a leader.
Okay.
Out in the community, they do different community service projects, anything that would involve being in a leadership role. That's what they work on and focus on. We have another component of Triangle called Able Vision, which is a video production company. Now, we don't, because we're here in Randolph and that's in Malden, so we don't get to really, be involved in Able Vision. However, a couple of our students, one of our students this year got to go on a trip to spring training down in Florida.
Okay.
As an Able Vision employee and interviewed fans and baseball players.
Okay.
So,
and he got from here, so transportation was provided for him?
Everything was provided for him, airfare, everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was part of his career. That's one of his visions, his goals. He wants to be like a sports broadcaster. So that was in line with kind of what his career was.
Yeah, so there's a significant amount of outreach that's involved.
Yes.
And if I could distinguish between, like, for example, a Massasoit, a community college, it seems, they're not by law, bound to follow the IEP. They take the IEP and they more or less look at a lot of them as 502.4s, and then they do what they can. But with you people, you are very interested in the IEP.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Wonderful. How do you integrate the families into these specific programs, but in particular the school to career program?
Well, we just have constant communication with the families on a daily basis, just through email, text. I have a very good working relationship with all the families as well as the staff. It's not just me. They might, interact with one of the employment specialists, but we have the families in at least twice a year, actually 3 times a year. We do end of semester celebrations where the students, get up and speak and talk about their experiences and their jobs and what they accomplished that semester. They may even do some role playing. We do, the classroom part of it is we're here. So if we're not out working, we're here. The students that are here that aren't at their job that day will be working on interviewing skills or writing their resume, writing a cover letter, what not to wear on an interview, or even problem solving, getting along with coworkers, how do you handle conflict on the job, all those little components that go with having a job. So the students will get up in front of the parents and kind of role play things that we worked on specifically for that semester.
Okay.
This we just did one in April where we were working on goals. And that's it's hard for anyone to say where they're going to be in 5 years. So they role played meeting a friend on the street, present day, talking about where they worked and what they were doing, and then they had to fast forward 3 years meeting that same friend. And talk about where they were 3 years. So we do different things like that with the parents to incorporate. It's time for the students to celebrate and kind of show them what they've accomplished.
Right. One other, actually, one other question. I think you've provided a tremendous amount of information. In terms of independent living, when one is not through with the program necessarily, but is engaged in work someplace and has got a job, what type of support would you provide in trying to find an independent living situation, such as a group home, such as...
Well, it's, first of all, we say this all the time. If you are part of Triangle and you've, successfully found a job, but don't attend here anymore, but you're always a part of Triangle.
Okay.
So we have students that they started out, internship, worked to a paid job, like 10, 15 hours. Now we're working full time, like down in Talbot's. They take the commuter rail.
Okay, yeah.
But they'll stop in maybe once a year, once every couple months, and just touch base, or they might reach out to us. Like, we support them just because you're not here, and they've exited the program. They have formally filled out the paperwork, and they're working 30, 40 hours a week. But we always will support them.
That's tremendous.
Once they're part of Triangle,
they're always part of Triangle.
Always part of Triangle. So so we don't per se. I don't go out and find them a group. Like, that's not what we do. But if someone came to us, we would put them in touch with who they would need to be in touch with.
Sure, that's really important. That that their stay here is it has it's temporary in some ways, but you never lose touch with them.
No,
and certainly that is a big concern of high schools, because a lot of times when kids graduate, when they finally leave, that's kind of it.
Yeah.
And I know that in our transition development, we'd like to have some way of keeping in touch with them and communicating with them to see how they're doing.
Yeah.
But well, I think this has been a great interview, and I really appreciate you being part of this.
Sure.
And thanks for having me, and good luck.
Thank you. My pleasure.